Welcome to Airborne Flight Training. Coming up on this week's episode, Trump scolds controllers as flight delays spike. FlyORKA could change the flight training game. Spartan acquires Aviator Air Flight School in Texas. And I'm your host, Holland Lee. Welcome to Airborne Affordable Flyers, a weekly program dedicated to future aviators and aviation professionals. Airborne Flight Training is brought to you in part by King Schools. King Schools has been leading the effort in producing expert aviation training programs and computer-based learning software for over 50 years. Find out why pilots love King teaching at kingschools.com. Now let's get into today's stories. Trump scolds controllers as flight delays spike. The longest federal government shutdown in history is finally coming to a close, but the aviation industry is taking its time to bounce back. Airlines are getting ready to shoulder thousands more flight delays and cancellations as the president himself takes to warning air traffic controllers with pay cuts. The FAA's game plan involved an initial 4% flight reduction at 40 major airports, incrementally working its way up to 10%. On the first day, 2,200 flights were canceled and several thousand more were impacted due to aircraft and crews stranded out of position. This means that even if all controllers immediately resumed work, it would take the airlines time to resituate their fleets and get flights back on track. President Donald Trump fueled the controversy by publicly scolding ATC, who had stopped reporting to work, saying he was not happy with their behavior. NATCA also didn't seem too enthused by the statement, arguing that members are being used as political pawns while being plagued by fatigue, stress, and attrition. Since the shutdown began, hundreds of controllers have quit or retired early, with many citing financial hardship after more than a month without pay. After the break, Taiwan boosts pilot pool by cutting age limit.
Direct Fly USA proudly introduces the new Alto NG, a single-engine, two-seat light sport aircraft for the North American market. This simple, all-metal aircraft design provides low-maintenance cost, easy, comfortable access, and responsive flight controls. Equipped with the Rotax 912 engine and a ballistic parachute, the Alto NG is reliable and safe. Learn more about the Alto NG at directflyusa.com.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Taiwan boosts pilot pool by cutting age limit. Taiwan is moving to catch up with global standards, expanding its pilot age threshold on both ends to set its airlines up to meet increased travel demand. U.S. senators have argued for a similar revision, though efforts stalled after ICAO shot down the proposal. ICAO standards have allowed individuals to obtain a commercial pilot license at 18 for longer than most pilots have been alive, as the organization took over and removed age restrictions from the International Commission for Air Navigation in 1947. Denver offers to foot the bill for air traffic controllers. Denver International Airport stepped up to mitigate some of the shutdown fallout. The airport has formally asked the FAA for permission to use its own revenue to pay air traffic controllers in hopes of skirting new capacity reductions. The proposal offers to cover wages for essential personnel until the shutdown ends, with the understanding that the FAA would reimburse the airport once federal funding resumes. As if routing thousands of giant hunks of metal going 250 knots through busy airspace wasn't rough enough, controllers across the country are now doing it for a whopping $0 paycheck. NBAA calls out false claims regarding BizAv traffic cuts. NBAA is bluntly shutting down any claims that business aviation has been exempted from the FAA's new traffic reduction measures. The cuts come as the shutdown blazes past the one-month mark, and controllers become less and less willing to work without pay. NBAA President and CEO Ed Bolin said, quote, "While business aviation is fully included in the FAA's traffic reductions, we know that our sector will continue to pursue mandatory and voluntary means to ensure we're part of the solution to the challenges posed in the current environment," end quote. Yet another regional shuts down, damaging Alaskan connectivity. In a minorly tear-jerking yet hopeful letter from Kenai Aviation owner Joel Caldwell, it was confirmed that the Alaskan Regional Airline had officially closed its doors. The carrier had been plagued with financial burdens since the 2020 COVID outbreak spurred debts that it had been unable to bounce back from. Caldwell explained, quote, "COVID gave us a debt load that we haven't been able to get back on top of. Today the bank is calling that debt. We have to cease all operations immediately. "I am devastated. Our operations may stop, but this vision continues," end quote. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. FlyORKA could change the flight training game. Through years of first-hand experience, Adriana Barrigan has seen how damaging holes in the flight training industry can be on student pilots, and she created an app to fix it. FlyORKA, which recently made its way onto Apple and Android platforms, is designed to make training more efficient and promote student confidence. Adriana's mission began in her time working as a flight test engineer, seeing how meticulously flights are planned, executed, and analyzed to ensure safety and performance. She realized the same disciplined process could transform flight instruction. This became the foundation for FlyORKA, a so-called training companion that turns flight lessons into structured learning cycles. Instead of passively logging hours, students use the app to plan their objectives, record results, and analyze progress. The system rewards reflection and continuous improvement, helping students understand not just what to do, but why. The app uses GPS to record 3D flight paths that can be played back with ground track, altitude, ground speed, and realistic landmarks. This feature is not only helpful for debriefs with instructors, but also to let peers and aviators from around the world share their insights. The logs can also be shared with friends and family who, confused or not, will be excited to be part of the journey. After these messages, Spartan acquires Aviator Air Flight School in Texas.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/rusty today for details.
For over 30 years, the massive Sport Plane Resource Guide has provided expert, credible information, evaluations, and critical analysis of all that the sport aviation world has to offer. The all-new digital Sport Plane Resource Guide is coming with extensive multimedia features that are constantly updated, an even more comprehensive online guide to all things sport aviation. Available soon. www.sportplane.com.
Welcome back. Spartan acquires Aviator Air Flight School in Texas. Spartan Education Group announced the acquisition of Aviator Air Flight School LLC, a flight training facility and full-service FBO at the Grand Prairie Municipal Airport in Grand Prairie, Texas, a provider of FAA Part 61 professional pilot training. The acquisition enables SEG to continue strengthening its commitment to addressing the shortage of trained pilots amid the growing global demand. Aviator Air will continue to operate and retain its dedicated team and student-focused culture, while it also gains access to SEG's partners, resources, and widespread aviation network. Rob Polston, CEO of SEG, said, quote, "We're thrilled to welcome Aviator Air to Spartan Education Group. With the expansion into the Texas market, Spartan's aviation training network now includes more than 160 aircraft used in FAA-regulated flight training, making it one of the nation's larger flight training networks," end quote. Aviator Air is a full-service FBO and flight training facility that has served the Dallas-Fort Worth area's aviation community for over 20 years. It's provided pilot training for 5 professional certificates, including the private pilot, instrument airplane, commercial pilot, multi-engine, and certified flight instructor. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.